To 27 degrees Sag, and we are broadcasting live from the Galactic Center. You have a point in your astrological chart that's 27 degrees Sagittarius, and it is called the connection or the portal to the Galactic Center. And that's exactly why I have named this show 27 degrees Sag. So welcome everybody. I want to say hello to everybody coming into the chat room. I'm going to say hi to everyone, and it is a special day today. We are getting bombarded by rain here in Florida. You might have heard that we have had some type of a tropical storm coming over the peninsula. So wherever you are, I hope that you're safe and gearing up for the Memorial Day weekend. I know it's a big weekend here in the States. And so I want to take just a pause to give praise, thanks, and to also let everyone know that the Memorial Day is in memory of those who have passed and in the military defending our country. And, you know, the courage that it takes, the amount of and the courage that it takes is huge, and the amount of recognition I feel is not. And so here's to all of the warriors, all of the soldiers, all of the military who is now come back. They're wrangling with trauma, deep-seated guilt, and a lot of things that perhaps they never talk about, perhaps they're not even conscious of, that is holding them back, getting in the way. And these are things that perhaps are a little bit, a little bit sloughed off or not taken seriously enough, that they are trained to do this kind of work, and then they come home and they try to filter into everyday lives, and it's very difficult. And I do want to send out light, love, prayers from above for everyone who has lost someone, everyone who is deployed at this particular time, and praying for peace and harmony, and that we really do search for a better way in order to bring us to the next level as far as all living in harmony together. But this is a weekend that typically kicks off the summer, even though we're still in springtime mode technically. I know that there's a lot of businesses that kick into high gear during the summer, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I want to say good luck. I hope you have a successful season, and I hope that everyone stays safe through all the summer activities. And if you are taking a break, going on vacation, having a wonderful family time, all the best to you. And we have some absolutely really remarkable playtime with the stars and the cosmos right now. The sun has entered into Gemini on May 21st, and May 21st was a Sunday. And when the sun goes into an air sign, we can expect a lot more communication. We can expect a lot more, I want to say, talking without perhaps the facts happening, or we are going to try to communicate. We're trying to use a little bit of diplomacy. Gemini likes to stir the pot. They like to have two phones going and really get excited about conversation, about stories, about gossip, about digging up the dirt, about finding finding the entertainment in the written word. So you'll have a lot of writers right now that are really expanding their use of writing and the use of phrasing. Um, it's one of those things that when we have Jupiter, which is the expansion planet, in Taurus, it hasn't been in Taurus in 12 years. So whatever you were doing 12 years ago, think back and think to yourself, wow, what was I doing that summer? What was I doing 12 years ago in that summer? Were you making some plans? Were you finding your tribe? Were you hanging out um, or traveling with friends as well? This is going to be a very fun time for most and a really chatty time. So you may be hearing from friends either on the internet texting or perhaps perhaps just running into friends or perhaps your old tribe that you once knew. Even though we are not into the retrogrades yet, we are going to have a impactful retrograde season coming up this summer. But right now, love is in the air. We have this flirty nature that we want to, we just want to be kind and nice and, chatty with everyone. And I feel like a lot of times when we are closing out May, like we are doing right now, it is May 24th, 2023, we are going to be experiencing a little bit of fun because Venus, the love planet that rules Taurus and rules Libra, is going to be sextiling Uranus. So something in your love life may be surprising, or you may run into someone, or you may have a surprising retort from someone, or a compliment, or you may run into someone that perhaps you are thrilled with the conversation. And it's one of those things that Venus wants you also to not only talk about money, but really manifest money in a way that perhaps you haven't before, or perhaps you may receive an opportunity out of left field that perhaps you were talking about a long time ago. It's coming around, and it is coming around with a little bit of I want to say with a little bit of hearts and flowers in the air. So if you are single, this is the time where I would suggest you get out and about and have fun. Memorial Day weekend, we have the moon in Libra, which is another air sign that loves peace and harmony and equal fun for everyone. It's a wonderful time for organizing, designing. Let's say you want to go out and you really want to, bring your outside space alive again with flowers or comfortable furniture or wonderful colors of the summertime. This is when we're trading out the heavy rugs, the heavy blankets, the heavy sheets, and the heavy comforters, and we're really kind of sprucing up and bringing the wonderful color and spring and the promise of summer inside into our homes. So this is the time also to make use of your Feng Shui talents as well. The day right before Monday, which would be Sunday, we've got the sun and it's going to be squaring Saturn. And that means you've got to get your work done first before you play. And I always tell everybody that, sometimes people may say, you know what, let's bring this down to earth a little bit. This isn't just going to be, a free-for-all party, but, take it easy, take it step by step. Make sure that if you are going to any Memorial Day celebrations, that you do have a sober driver or some means of transportation. You also are not going to be spending more than you should, or let's say drinking more than you need to, or eating everything in sight. What we want to do is we just really want that equilibrium to just kind of harmonize the atmosphere and bring about the main theme that we've got to figure out how to bring peace onto the planet. And that's the most exciting, and that's the most responsible way to really kind of direct this energy. Hello, Sheila. How are you? Happy. So good to see you and Bill. And I know Carla's listening and Sheena's listening. There's a lot of people that tune in on the other side of the planet. So I want to say hi to all of, to everybody that's, let's just say 8 hours or 6 hours ahead of my schedule, and a lot of people on the West Coast as well. So I want to say also that we've got this wonderful June that's going to be busting out. And June 1st is going to be next Thursday. And just in time, I want to talk a little bit about this full moon in Sagittarius, which is going to be June 3rd. And it's at 13 degrees. Again, Saturn's involved. So when we have Sagittarius at 13 degrees, we have this wisdom that wants to pour out of us. We have this expansion that wants to take place. We want to talk about travel plans. We want to talk about perhaps something that's going on internationally in the news. We want to also kind of get the word out of many psychic predictions or intuitive news that is happening within the spiritual realm. We also want to talk about healing and the new ways of going about healing, whether you're creating, your own mystical alchemy, or whether you are allowing the new technology to come in. But this particular new moon has got a Saturn vibe to it. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. They want to have fun. They want to expand. They don't care how much they spend. They don't care how much they eat or drink or, maybe next time. Maybe living for the moment is a full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius with this full moon, and then we've got the sun in the party planner of Gemini, which is directly opposite. These two can, I'm telling you, if there was ever a partnership that was meant to bring on great events, these are the two signs together in partnership, which would be Gemini and Sagittarius. They really know how to plan an event and have everyone attend and everyone have a wonderful, wonderful time. However, Saturn is the restrictor, the disciplinarian, and he's the one that's going to say, you know what? We're going to plan this party, but we're going to plan it within budget, and we're going to do it step by step. We are not going to go over budget. We're going to have everything in proper order. So you may be pulled to do this or that or travel or go whatever, but you're going to be, you're not going to be overspending. You're going to be really staying in the good lane, okay? So Saturn's going to be keeping you real, keeping you down to earth, keeping you within budget. And this particular full moon is really going to be is really going to be dropping in some hints, some opportunities of prosperity, but you must take these opportunities seriously. And this is something that Saturn tends to do. When Saturn is up against expansion, and the opportunities are pouring in, Saturn says, hey, it's time to get serious here. It's time to look at the serious offers. It's time to really do some serious research here. It's time to look at it, take a leap of faith, and make sure that you do things step by step and you don't get so excited by what's ahead. And, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. And Saturn is here to kind of just, put the brakes on a little bit for you so you can enjoy yourself, enjoy the moments. And then you're able to really, pick up the check when everything's done. So we're going to have a really fun opening to June. Sages are all about travel, writing, publishing, wisdom, higher learning. If you've ever wanted to learn anything like a new language or astrology or alchemy, sacredness, sacred directions, anything like that, this is the time to do it. This is a wonderful time to have a seminar or plan to attend one. If you are thinking about learning tarot or you're thinking about learning how to write a screenplay, this is the most wonderful time to be doing all of that. But travel is key. And you may travel in a whim. You may just have an opportunity where you say, you know what? I really want to travel. I just received this opportunity, this invitation. I can fit it in. I'm going to do it. I say go ahead and do it because Uranus is going to be really active on the next day, June 4th, which is a Sunday. And Uranus is going to provide you with the bottom line information to take advantage of any kind of opportunity that's coming your way. This has money all over it. So it's great news. I love it. And, and it's fun because remember, the sun's in Gemini. We're in Gemini season right now. Geminis love to flip from here to there and travel and, not really take everything so seriously. We've got a wonderful recipe and a wonderful combination here for enjoying yourself, for having great conversations, for travel, and for money opportunities. So it looks really good for starting out June. I know a lot of times when I was living in California, we used to say, oh no, the June gloom is coming in because the fog would roll in off of the ocean and it wouldn't really clear during the month of June. So we really didn't look forward to it like we do on the East Coast where, wow, summer's happening and it's very clear and bright. And yes, we will get some rain showers as well because we've got to green up the planet and we've got to get those flowers out and everything else. But yes, I have to say that this June is snap, crackling, and popping for good things for all. So I love that. I do want to talk to you a little bit about my own seminar. And it is for Feng Shui. It is introducing you to the next 20 years in our period 9. This is so important. This is one of those things where this cycle is going to be shifting and bringing in some elements that have not been on the planet since the 1800s. So this is something that, anyone that's alive right now, has not in this lifetime experienced this particular shift. You may have in another lifetime, but this one packs a huge punch. And it has to do with heating everything up. It has to do with your legacy. It has to do with you being as hot as you possibly can. It also, it's also about balancing out the ego. That is something that we're going to be getting in as we really kind of introduce this particular seminar. It's on June 19th, and I'd really like for you to go and check it out. It's on my website. It's Kimla Lowe, LOWE.com, and you can sign up for that. And if you're just new to Feng Shui and you really don't understand the different cycles, I walk you through it very gently, fun, in a way that you will understand these particular elements. All of the fire signs, I say heads up, you need to hear this information. We are going into 20 years of a fire element. You're going to know, you're going to have some kind of a plan on how you're going to handle all this hotness that's coming at you. So, and the fire signs, of course, are Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. So if you are any of those signs, whether it's a rising sign, moon sign, or sun sign, I'm also going to say Mars and Venus, you need to attend this. You need to know how to take this step by step, how to apply other elements that are going to support you, how you are not going to get burnt out, or how to handle the inflammation and how to handle the new light that is coming in for us. So it's going to be a huge, huge seminar. I really love it. And there's one thing that this particular next 20 years is going to introduce, and that is it's tied to the senses, and it's tied to your eyes. So this is going to be directly connected to the south location. The south location is named Li, and this particular location rules your sight. It rules your eyes, and your eyes are the windows to your soul. So in the next 20 years, we are going to be learning about how important your eyes are, how they're connected to your soul, how to protect your eyes so that entities and negative energy will not come in to really, I want to say, steal your soul. Did you see the movie Men in Black? Men in Black. They wanted to erase the memories. They wanted to erase the situation of galactics and what the people saw. So what did they do? Did they put something on their brains? Did they put something in their ears? Did they put something on their heart? No. If you remember, they took a light and they flashed it right in front of their eyes. And your eyes are directly connected to your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is the gland of wisdom. It directly ties into your psychic ability, to your intuition. It is the little pine cone that sits in the center of your brain. And this particular pineal gland is responsible for setting up the timing on your particular electromagnetic field. So what happens is when, let's just say, you have this flash, and what this does is it absolutely can manipulate, control, abuse, and let's just say compartmentalize your experiences. It could rob you of the information that you already know. It could rob you of your particular growth in your experience and your expansion into the next 20 years. It could definitely harm or promote your five senses. This particular pineal gland is responsible for your innate timing of blinking, your nervous system, when you go to sleep, how you get tired. When you sleep, your eyes, let's say they're closed and you're asleep, your eyes still have movement. It still has reaction within the brain. It's still your eyes, your rapid eye movement, your REM waves. This makes sure that you're still breathing, your heart is still pumping. You can still feel things, you can still hear things. You are being guided to another dimension. You can be guided to leave the body and travel, astral travel. The pineal gland is the chief, it's the head of what is going on while you are recharging. Did you know from 10 o'clock in the evening until 3 a.m., your body, while you are asleep, is so important that it is cleansing out, not on so many levels, not just the toxins that you've taken in for that particular day. It's cleaning out your psychological thoughts, your negativity that you've heard or that has caused trauma within you. It is cleansing you. And what happens is that if you, let's say you're cramming for an exam or you're driving straight through and you're caffeining it up, you're depriving yourself of a major cleansing. And what happens is your body and your electromagnetic field gets jammed up. You're ready for a crash. And I mean a big crash. You're jet lagged, right? How does that feel? There are so many different things that are tied in to this pineal gland connected to your eyes. Pollen gets in your eyes. It causes a lot of things. It's toxic. You know, some people are very allergic to certain pollens, certain metals, certain vibratory rates. If you have been bombarded by megahertz that abuse or perhaps manipulate instead of protection and instead of enlightenment, this is going to be all this is going to be all knowledge that everybody's going to find out about. How to protect the eyes from heat, how to protect the eyes from inflammation. Now, I know, the study of iridology and sclerology about the eye itself, it shows you a map of your body, and you can learn this, and this is something that is, it's just like a map of the stars, like astrology, but it's inside your eyes, and it tells a story about what's happening within the body. Now, because the eyes are the windows to your soul, you may have no idea what is going subconsciously, what you are looking at, how many times a light flashes, how many times you see a specific color or a tone or something that is literally corrupting the pineal gland, that is literally corrupting or perhaps altering when you eat, what you eat, when you sleep, how you sleep. I know many, many people, they have a very hard time sleeping. And what do? They take extra melatonin, or they'll take extra whatever it is so that they relax in order to sleep. You're going to learn how meditation, the sound, relaxing the eyes, pulling the eyes up, As you close your lids, pulling the eyes up and to connect it to the pineal gland, cleaning everything out. This is really going to regulate and up level our particular avatars. I want to say hi to Maureen and Phil. How are you? Oh, your eyes have been burning. I'm so sorry. But this is what happens when I take a look at the South in Feng Shui. And if you have a lot of the color red or a lot of lights in the South, you could be overloading the particular fire element, within your home. So we're all going to learn about this. We're all going to learn what supports us. We're also going to learn that administrative people who are CEOs, the heads of teams, they have a lot of metal element inside of their birth chart. Now, what happens when you heat up? What happens when you apply heat to metal? Right, it bends, it misshapes, you can melt, you can have a meltdown. This is where you really need to have the protection. You really need to have the alchemy, the right amounts of elements around you so that you do not suffer a meltdown within your business and within change and losing control over your company or your business or your financial flow. What happens when all as I know how to control the fire element is to just douse it with water. But what happens when you douse it with water, you wipe everything out? Then you have no fire element at all. Then you are really going to be at a loss because everybody's going to be soaring, going, inspiring. They're going to be rocketing, and you will have none because you've wiped out your engines. So when we add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, the alchemy must be right. And this is what we're going to be learning. But we're going to be learning a lot about the windows to your soul. When I look at a house, your windows are so important. Those are the eyes of the house. And the eyes of the house have to be working. If you have any windows that need screens or they've been slammed shut forever or they creak or they haven't been cleaned or perhaps they're just old and they will not protect the house from the new light that's going to be coming in. This is going to be really, really important, not only for our particular avatars, but also for our sanctuaries that we're going to be living in. So we're going to come up with new ways of windowing. They're going to have these particular protective devices on the windows. Your eyes are going to have the same protective devices on them. Have you ever seen a galactic? If you have seen a galactic or an illustration of a galactic, you will notice that their eyes are huge. Because they're taking in so many different vibratory rates, so many different areas, and on many, many different dimensions at the same time. This is what we're going to be doing as well. Everybody says, oh, when I put on my my AI and I have this virtual game going on within my eyes, you will be able to participate in that. You will see so much more to explore. But this has to do with your little eyes, and this has to do with the connection of the pineal gland. This is what makes the timing of planet Earth happen. This makes the flowers grow. This makes the rain. This makes the sun come up and the tides happen. This is all interwoven, and we never thought it was what we were looking at. We never thought, wow, your eyes could have that much manipulation and control? Absolutely. The weaponry that we're going to go into and that they've already been using, you're going to know that this particular weaponry is about what you're watching. Not only about what you're hearing, but what you're watching. It's very, very important. What you're watching is exactly like Men in Black, where they flash something and you're going to be manipulated. You are going to learn how to protect yourself from abusers, from manipulators, from people that, or I just want to say entities, whether they're people or not, but there could be forces from long, far away, sending rays to manipulate. And they may have been doing it for a long time. I always said to myself, I remember back in the day, in the college days, we protested everything. I mean, things that didn't sound right. They weren't in our best interest as a planet to bring peace. We protested. We were against all of that. And then it just seemed like we all went to sleep, right? Right? And, when you're out of control, they calm you down. When you are coming, or let's just say, you are up leveling little groups by little groups, they calm them down in a way of manipulation, in a way of light. And this is something that is known on the inside, but it's something that we are going to be able to see, and we're going to be able to control. Because ultimately, yes, there are entities out there and negative frequencies that do want to control your souls. They want to live off of the human DNA, the blood, the things that we hold so sacred and so dear, and perhaps we don't even know the value of them. So to protect your soul, and we've had a lot of discussions and a lot of guests on the show that bring that up. We need to really know how to protect ourselves, protect our souls. Just like from hackers, from fraud. You have brakes in your car to protect you, seatbelts to protect you. This is just another way to go in and to really learn that, yes, you are in control. There's something that you can do. When you see the harm that's done, and you see how these particular different areas on the planet are more susceptible than others, just because of the electromagnetic fields around them. Mountainous areas have a different vibratory rate than, let's say, flat areas around the equator. Water, has a different vibratory rate and obviously the different element than perhaps, the woods, and a lot of the plant talking, and a lot of the networking of the root systems in plants and etc. But what I want to say is that you have your eyes, you have the most amazing network in your body. And even if you lost sight, it's still connected. You still have that pathway that is still connected to everything else. Everything else that's going on as far as your timing. They call it the cicada timing. And that's exactly, what we're going to be learning about, how this is going to be changing. Why is it that we go to sleep at nighttime? Why is it that our cicada timing is, you get up when the sun gets up? Why is that? It's the light frequency. And we're going to be also learning about how to heal the nervous system. The nervous system is something that they've been surgically manipulating for a while, but it is very, very possible to heal your nervous system, and there's a lot of different challenges and diseases and things like that about the nervous system that connects through the body. We're going to be learning how that timing and how that light and how necessary it is to connect those nerves again. And we can go into all of the health issues one thing at a time. But right now, I want you to know that your eyes, when you go outside, you should have some sunnies on. You should protect your eyes at all costs. And be careful about some drops or whatever that you're putting in the eyes itself. You will, it was just in the news that they had compromised eye drops, and the drops had caused paralysis of the eyes itself. And you are going to be seeing more of the manipulative abuse and what's going to be happening on. Then this will be the catalyst for you to protect one of the most sacred senses that you have, which is your sight and your eyes. You are going to be learning how to expand dimensional sight. Now, for me, I see things behind people all the time. I see spirits, and I have since I've been a kid. Is it scary? Oh, yeah. I mean, at one point I thought it was normal, and then when I started to go through my teens and my 20s, and the conversations and the information that I was getting from them, yeah, I did not know how to handle that. But we are going to be going through that. Hello, Jules. How are you? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. We are going to be learning how to direct that energy and the sight of perhaps seeing through people, being able to all of us be medical mediums, mystical in nature. We are all going to be having that third eye open up, explode, pop, as you say, and this is going to really show us, not just what's going wrong in our avatars, but also dimensionally, generationally back, about what needs to be healed, what needs to be fixed, and all of that. So we are going to also be able to see in other dimensions into the future and what's going to be coming at us, what is happening at that particular moment, perhaps on many different levels at the same time. We're going to have the sight of our wisdom and our knowledge that we have lost. We're going to have the foresight of knowing how truly cherished freedom really is. Foresight is something that I don't think people even think about anymore. It's just, oh, well, if I knew that was going to be happening, I would have made this other decision. All of these experiments and all of this exploration and all of this AI is going to come up. But remember, we have the wonderful gift of free will here on planet Earth. Now, when you get out into galactic travel, do you take that gift with you? Anybody thought about that? Or have you entered the danger zone when you don't have that particular usage of your free will any longer. Where is the boundary? What happens then? We're going to be kind of meditating on that in the next 20 years. We're going to be figuring that out, because everybody talks about, oh, I have so much free will. I can do this and I can do that. However, you also have consequences. And that's something nobody talks about. Yes, you have free will. Yes, you can make the decision that you want to make. Number one, there are consequences. There is a ripple effect here. We're going to be looking into that ripple effect, and some people call it karma. Some people call it, judgment. Some people call it the great decision with a negative effect. It's one of those things where, yes, we were granted that, but there's always a but, right? Oh, however, always consider the consequences and the ripple effect. When you are going to get this foresight, when you are going to get this multi-dimensional vision, it is also connected, remember, to the pineal gland, which means we are going to have different rhythms. We are going to have different beats with our hearts. We are going to be able to do things differently. This affects your strength. This affects your entertainment. This affects your ability and your longevity. This, the great Buddhist monks, they are known to go into a meditation and slow their entire body down, right? And they go into this particular level where they manipulate the cicada factor. They manipulate their heart rate. They do not age. They suspend the action on the avatar. And it's done quite normally through meditation. However, we're going to be noticing more and more as we get into this wonderful period 9 that we're going into, where the hot spots are, not only in your own body, in your mind, but also on planet Earth. Where are the hot spots? Are they going to be taking over? Are they going to be expanding? Volcanoes actually expand and give us new land. That's what happens. Sometimes the oceans recede because it's so hot, dries things up. And guess what happens? Oh, you've got more land. We are at 2023, as we're talking, we're in a year of water. So we're going to have an excess of water. But we are going into 20 years of hot. 20 years of aggression. We need to know how to balance that out as well. 20 years of things that apply the level of fire. That could be firearms, that could be weaponry, that could be anything to defend ourselves against manipulation. That could be war. That could be a lot of things. We're going to talk all about that in my seminar on June 19th, and I hope to see you there. We're going to have a lot of fun discussing exactly how it's going to affect your particular birth chart as far as Feng Shui goes, as far as your Chinese chart goes. You may have listened to a lot of what's going on as far as perhaps Vedic astrology or Western astrology, tropical astrology. So this is something that nobody's talking about. This is something that, maybe not in the West so much. The Eastern way of predictions and really some absolutely fabulous information about you, yourself, and you, and what makes what makes your personal alchemy, and how can you shift it, and how can you protect yourself as things are coming at you. Hello, Lacey Dawn. How are you? Nice. I'm so glad you're stopping by. Very nice. Hello, Miss Vandana. And she said, I have just worked on a course with Sandra clearing for me, and so much is coming up. This is the time for things to be coming up, so you can let them go, you can learn from them, and you can break all these generational perhaps links or gaps. Sometimes when we go back through our generational threading, whether it's from a trauma or an abuse or something we didn't know about, we discovered there was a gap. And just like your nervous system, it needs to grow the nerve endings and to release that space with something to fortify your future, because you can't go into the future without a nice foundation to stand on, right? And so that's what we're going to be learning about, all of that as well. So, there could be something that you need to reweave, in your past, or there's something that perhaps you need to reconnect with, and that's wonderful. To release trauma and to release things that are holding you back. If you don't feel like there's anything that's holding you back, and you are going into the future and you are so positive and you are just like, look, I am ready, I want to go through to the future, you're standing on a very good foundation. And when you're thinking about, wow, I'm not wobbly at all, I'm very stable, I'm really wanting to research what's coming at me next, and this is what, these are the people that are going to provide the catalyst, the inspiration of bringing that future in, so that we can all assimilate this new energy that's happening. Hey, I don't want to leave tonight without doing a reading. Is there someone out there that has a question, or that would like for me to kind of give you some information on, or a little bit of clarity? I know that there's it's so funny, but I get to talking and I'm so passionate. That's another thing that's going to be huge: passion. A lot of entities, a lot of galactic entities do not carry passion as humans do. So yeah, so that is it. How do I fix my eyes? Phil. Let's take a look at that. If you have a compass, I want you to look at the south location. You may have something that is something that's either blocking your south location, or there could be a lot of the element of fire in your south location. But what's happening is you're coming up against your resistance to fame. Yeah, and that's a big one. Fame is a responsibility. Do I really want fame? Is there something that I really want, or am I dodging? Am I perhaps blocking my own acknowledgement and validation, and my legacy and my values? That's another thing. So we have to look at what's stopping you from being recognized for whatever reason that is. So, as we kind of get down from there, but if you have a lot of, let's say, streaming in some type of either LED or regular lights or something, I want to say, overcharging the south location of your home. So check that out, okay? Okay. Jules, I'm starting a new business in 2 weeks. Is this a good time? Oh, darling. Yes, yes, yes. Hold on one second and let me. Did you like that little dip? Okay. Hold on one second. In 2 weeks' time. All right. 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time. Okay. So we are going to have Pluto in 2 weeks' time. We're going to have Pluto that's retrograde at this time, going back into Capricorn that rules business. And Mercury is going to be entering into Gemini, which is the twins, which is the mark of two. So I'm not surprised. I think a lot of people will be doing that. Venus is going to be in Leo at that time. So you are probably wanting to go big or go home. In other words, but you are going to have the luck of the draw there. Also, I don't know your chart off the top of my head, but also Jupiter is going to be conjuncting the North Node. The North Node is your north compass of your life, of where you're headed, where you're going. In your particular chart, for your natal North Node, I'm not sure where it is, but right now the North Node and Jupiter is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is higher money. This is a new opportunity. I want to also say that perhaps if you are opening up something new, you're taking advantage of an opportunity, it may need a fine tuning by the time we get to whenever Venus is going to be going retrograde in Leo. So you might do a little fine tuning later on in the summer. So yeah. So I hope that yes, you're welcome, Phil. Absolutely, and I'm sorry that that's happening to your eyes. But you can always take cold water, and a wash rag or some ice, and just lightly put them on your eyes, and that's going to take some of the inflammation out. Yeah, take a lot of your inflammation out, because that's what's making it burn, is the inflammation. Turmeric's really good for inflammation, and also just drinking a lot of water. But still, there's something going on in the south part of the home, and why you are resisting fame and your legacy. And we're all going to be learning about that as well. And Jules says that helps. Well, I'm glad that helps. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. Ruthie, why is all this medical crap hitting me at once? I would think that perhaps your sixth house is perhaps either squaring Saturn, or something's going on in your sixth house in your chart, which means that you need to have an awareness about what's going on in the body. And I'm just kind of thinking, I don't know if you ever do acupuncture or have had that done, but it looks to me like there was some type of a trauma, or perhaps just maybe it could be something like like an automobile, crunch, or just a jarring effect. You could have fallen or something like that. But what happens is, a lot of times, and people don't know this, but a lot of times what happens is it reverses your energy flow. And it looks to me like that's what's going on, because it's triggering a lot of these different things. So what you want to do is you want to get to an acupuncturist. You could do acupressure as well, but an acupuncturist is the one that's really going to be able to locate and shift the chi in the body, because it looks to me like it's not going like it should. It looks like it's reversed from some trauma or jolt, or perhaps a real shock. It usually takes like a fall, or getting hit from behind, or something like that. But Ruthie, I would really, and I'm not a medical medium, but we all are at some level, aren't we? Because we all have our own intuition. But I would make sure that your particular circuitry your chi, your energy is moving in the right direction, because it looks to me like it could be reversed, or it could have been reversed, causing you a little bit of triggering some medical um, some medical situations to pop up, just to give you an awareness that you've got to track down your positive chi, make sure it's on track, and make sure that it's going in the right direction. Okay. Me, please. When am I moving? It is a must. When are you moving? You're moving. You're going to move when you decide you're aligned. Okay. You're moving in, you're making a lot of moves inside. And when those moves are aligned properly, you can't help but move. You're going to move. You are going to move. And you've been working on doing a lot of that. Mercury's going to sextile Mars. You're going to have a friend who is a Gemini, I think, who is a Gemini, who is going to be chatting, or a friend who is going to give you some type of a tip on something that's going on, or a new location, about where you can go, and it's going to be better than you think. This is one of those things where you think, oh, it's too good to be true. It's really going to be good. And I hope you take advantage of it. It's going to happen. I think it's going to happen right after the sun enters into Cancer, which is the summer solstice, which is June 21st. But I feel as though there's going to be a friend, or somebody who is a Gemini, who's a really good friend of yours. Maybe you're celebrating a birthday or something with this Gemini, and they're going to give you some news about some opportunity about moving. Okay. Thank you. I've seen an acupuncturist. Okay, I don't know exactly what that is. Good. Well, I'm glad that you're going to. Oh, she says, thank you. I've seen an acupuncturist in the past. I feel like that works for you, Ruthie. So, yeah. So perhaps get back and just make sure your chi is going in the right direction. Okay. Because I think that that's really good. Phil says, the screens of electronic devices are burning my eyes and blocking energy channels. So you need to get a scalar energy home protector. You need to go to my website, scroll all the way down in products. Well, I've got services on the top, products on the bottom, and you need to get the home shield. Okay, that's all scalar energy that protects you from any type of invasion that would be blocking any kind of energy channels at all. It's a protector for you. Okay. Yes, that's what you need to get. And I've got one in my room right here, right now, working. And I've got two in my home, and I think you need one as well. All right, I think everybody does. You're welcome. You're welcome. And Jill says that helps. Okay, perfect. Anybody else? Ruthie says, I love my Gemini guy. Good for you, Ruthie. Yay. We love Geminis. They're just sweeties, and we're honoring them right now because the sun has moved into Gemini. So happy birthday to all of the Geminis out there. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for coming along with me, and have a safe Memorial Day weekend. And my love goes out to all of you. And for anybody that just takes a moment and remembers the courage that it takes to protect the ones we love back home. And so for all of those in the military, I want to send out a big hug, a big thank you, a huge amount of gratitude. It takes some real warrior energy to do that. And we so appreciate everything that you do to keep our freedom alive. And I want each and every one of you to value your freedom and to protect your heart, your soul, your intentions, your passion, and also your decisions that you make. Until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Good night, everyone.